Fathers Who Bother is made possible in part by the contributions of listeners like you. To support Fathers Who Bother, go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Fathers Who Bother and become a monthly subscriber today. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fathers Who Bother, a podcast for men who are dad as we want to be. I am your host, Jerry Barrow. My next guest is a founding member of the legendary Brooklyn collective, the Boot Camp Clique, and one half of Brownsville super duo Smif-N-Wessun. Last year, he celebrated the 25th anniversary of his debut album, The Shining, and has released 6 more group albums, including 2019's The All, and his solo project 2016's Building Bridges. His new video, American Made, is out now on Duck Down as a prelude to his new full-length album produced by SK, America's Nightmare 3, City Under Siege. In stores February 5th. Make sure to go cop, stream, and all that. But today we're going to talk about his 20-plus years of experience as a father. Wow. Please welcome General Steele to the podcast.
Salute, salam, salute. How you doing, good brother?
I'm doing well. How are you doing on this fine day, this fine winter New York day?
This wintry day. I'm awesome, man. I'm blessed to be here building with you. I miss you, man. We chop it up in a nice.
It's been a minute. I think we were just saying 20 Building Bridges was probably the last time.
Yeah.
And you and SK are back with America's Nightmare. Talk to me about, because I'll be honest with you, I've known you for decades now.
Yeah.
I did not know about America's Nightmare 1 and 2.
1 or 2. Okay, well.
Or 2. I'm being straight with you, brother.
That's fine. That's fine. That's great. Well, America's Nightmare 1 was made. I want to say I made that in, it was either 99 or 2000.
Okay.
Right. And that was like the conception of Bucktown, USA as a company. And it was like starting from the bottom. I was like when Drake made that song, he was talking about me. He's talking about a lot of us, but he was really talking about me.
Okay.
So, I was in the zone. Hip hop was in the crazy zone at that time. And what I did, it started out as like a practice session almost. And for me, like I got OCD, man. So I was like, okay, I hate to throw away stuff. And I was building with one of my cousins. He just came home from a little prison stint, and he wanted to get into the booth. And I'm like, all right, well, go ahead. I'm gonna record you, And he was in there. He was doing this thing, but I'm like, yo, all right, you gotta make some songs, bro. Like. And I got a little frustrated with him, honestly. And I said, let me show you how to do this, right? So I started picking the songs that was out. Like America's Nightmare is pretty much like a mixtape. Okay. So I was rhyming over industry beats, and I would take like, say a Beanie Siegel song, and if he was talking about crack, then I would flip the subject matter, and I would do his style, so to speak. But I would make it, it was like mad cynicism, mad sarcasm. And it was really going against the structure of how we deal with ourselves and the industry, and a little bit of politics in there. Right. And I made that in like 24 hours. I was on my Tupac, we call that the Illuminati theory. You know what I'm saying? We like, Tupac make an album in 7 days, that's real. And the songs are official. It's throwaways on there. So I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna pick the beats, and then I'm gonna write to them, and I'm gonna go in mash. 24 hours. It was done. So you can imagine, like, it was mixed horribly because it wasn't in the studio. Like, I had all the old equipment from Duck Down, Priority. I had all that in my basement in Queens, right? And I was like, yo, I'm hungry. I'm starving. Literally, it's nothing going on. So I'm like, all right, this is my opportunity to make something and bust out. So it wasn't like, it was such a test. It was such a dry run. And I just gave it a name. I don't know why I call it America's Nightmare. I really don't. Salute the Spice One, the Bay Area Big G. And that's one of my favorite joints with him.
Right.
So I don't know. I just gravitated to that. And what made me do number 2 it was some madness going on in the world at the time. It was a lot of wars and a lot of things was going on, and I wanted to speak to that.
Okay.
And big up to my boy Wise Dread. At the time, Wise Dread was doing this collective where he was blending rock and roll and hip hop. So I was like, yo, that sound like America's Nightmare. That sound like I'm like I like to do different stuff outside of the normal stuff you hear Tech and I doing on the boot camp click. I like to test the boundaries without going too far off the deep end. People be like, yo, your man is crazy. I'm crazy. I'm a little weirdo, but hey, it was nice.
We all are a little bit, a little tough.
But it was fun to do those 2 projects. Duck Down distributed part 2 as well. That was called Child of War. So the whole concept of that is pretty much about war. You know, I was on my like Jimi Hendrix vibe. I was like, change voice change and stuff. Like I was really trying to channel the energy of what it felt. So when you listen to the new one, City Under Siege, this is it's more grimace, it's more menacing. And you think about the temperature of what's going on right now. I started recording this a month after we all got locked into pandemic. And I was pondering it for a while. People was like, yo, you need part three. My man Thor Stewart on Instagram, like my, big fan of good hip hop. Right. Like, when you put out number 3, when you put out, I'm like, I wasn't feeling it. Like, I didn't want to be the preachy guy who had these series of things that no one cares about. And, being home in the pandemic and having all these thoughts, it's like, where do they go? So I just hit up SK. I said, well, what you feeling, bro? Would you be willing to do America's Nightmare 3? Because he normally, like, his beats are very jazzy. And he was like, I don't think he believed me when I said that to him. I think he was like, what? You sure? You need me to make some more beats? I said, nah, man, I'm a dig, man. I got at least like 300-400 tracks that he been giving me. He been feeding me beats in like 2012, 2013. Damn. And I mean, he's a very hard worker and he loves what he do. And his father's a musician as well, so he's tuned into the avatar. So I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I know that I can do this with him. Okay. Because at first I was like, I had a list of guys, And I was like, yo, I'm not finna stress myself out with these guys. I need to put the blinders on and go, yo, son, can we do this? Yes, let's thump it out. Right. And yeah, he was with it, man. I'm grateful for what we was able to create too.
How long did you take to put it all together?
Well, the first songs was created in May.
Okay.
The first sessions was in May, and like I would do dry runs. I would write a verse to each beat. So I had the first time I did like 3 verses to 3 separate joints, like so 3 separate concepts. Okay. And then I would send it to him just to get him excited and shit, you know what I mean? Right. And so then he would like, he would try to send me other beats, but I was like, yo, you probably got all of the beats as hidden gems. I probably can find all of them in what I already have. Yeah. So we started to build it up. And when I probably got to like number 6, I got stuck. So I pretty much was recording all up until maybe September, maybe like August, September. After that, I had to get the features because I started to do it with no features. I was like, yo, I'm just going to do it, put it out. And the plan was to put it out while all this madness was going on, all these riots and stuff. Once the riots start kicking up, I was like, yo, this is a great timing. Like I was going to put it out then, but it wasn't, it was like a cake that wasn't done yet. It's like in pushing it out and I didn't feel comfortable trying to capitalize off of what was going on. That was not the intention of the project at all. So, throughout all of these months that we've been, I guess, quarantined and stuff, it was rough, man. Cause again, my OCD be kicking my behind, man. I'd be like, yo, we gotta get it cracking. Like a lot of stuff was done. Right. The features that I started to go out for, I said, you know what? All they could tell me is no. you know, and secretly, I'm gonna put it out there. I don't like dealing with rappers. And I know you can relate to what I'm talking to you, Jay.
Love rappers, but dealing with
Jay Barrow, yo, you've been dealing with rappers just about as long as I've been dealing with rappers. Yes. I don't really like those guys, man. Like they rub me the wrong way a lot, man. It's like I'm such a geek. Like I'm like, yo, I ain't with the procrastination. I'm not with the monkey business. Right. Like, because if I go there, I'm gonna get sucked in. I know me, I'm gonna have too much fun. I'm gonna lose myself. I'm gonna have to come back and do it tomorrow. I like to get in and get it out, get it done, you know? Right. So I went for certain guys who I felt had that work ethic for this project, and who I felt would kind of get the message across. I didn't want the smarty arty bookworm guys. I didn't want the preachy guys. I wanted the guys you would least expect. And you know, the normal guy you see walking down the street, you're not going to kick knowledge. You're going to be scared of this cat. Like you see Rockness Monster, you ain't gonna start talking about no religion with him. You're gonna just walk past, put your head down. Like this guy look like he just want to hit a person. Like, you know, he's like, I want to get scary cats. Like I want dudes like Shabam Sadiq, who's just like a fire starter with his rhymes, and cats like Louis Skaggs, who you don't know, but he's a quiet assassin and he's very sharp. And you know, just try to put it together in a way where it's not this General Steele, I'm the soldier of everything. So I'm telling you guys, stay focused and stay woke. Like that's not even it. It's like more like when we sit in the backyard or we breaking bread and we like, yo, son, you know what time it is? You see what's going on, right? All right, so we got to start, you know, and plan it. Like when Pac say, plan, plot, strategize, and bomb first. So you ain't got to talk a lot, but just get it. So 11 tracks on this current project. And since I've been working with SK, we've been sticking to that number 11. And there's something special about that number 11 also because my first son, Genesis, was born on 11/11, 1997. So, like, I don't know. It's a subtlety, but at the same time, I think it's something that touches my soul. And that number is a spiritual number anyway. You guys know. And in the book of life, book of gods and earths, 11, we say knowledge, you know, knowledge is one. When we say knowledge, that means peace. You know, so it's like it's so many different connotations to the numbers, numerology, and science, and it all applies, man, to everything that we're doing. So
that's on the first one. You have a song called "Me and My Son." Was that about Genesis, or was that metaphoric son?
When I was doing it, he was with me, you know. He was there, like he was in the studio with me every day. Like when my son was born, like my kid's mother immediately, like a lot of moms, they want to go back to work. They want to do stuff. They want to take karate, Pilates, you know what I'm saying? All kinds of stuff. And you're going to hold it down. Like, so I wasn't, you know, my career at the time wasn't really doing anything, but I was able to commandeer all of the equipment from Duck Down. They needed a place to put it. So I was like, hey, I got a basement, guys. And by the way, we can come there and we can record stuff and nothing has to stop. So yeah, GI would be with me. Whenever I was in that basement recording, he would be in the basement. It's certain songs that you can hear him in the background. You know, I think he was like, 2 years old, something like that. Yeah, 99, he was like 2 years old. So you can hear him trying to vibe and stuff, you know. Yeah, he's always been there, man.
Yeah. So tell me about when you first found out you were having him. When you first found out, your lady comes to you and says, "I'm pregnant." What do you remember about that?
Well, at the time I was like, I was in a bad space. So I was like, yo, if I meet a female who I'm digging, then and if it happened, then I'm all in. So when she told me that, I pretty much cut off all my other girlfriends and I started the process of my genesis. You know, that was my mindset. It's like, I gotta now, straighten up and fly right. I wasn't scared at all. I was ready to just go. You know what I'm saying? And in hindsight, that's kind of crazy.
Why do you think it was crazy? I don't think any man's reaction is crazy, because it's for the first time. Because when we think about it, but we're never prepared.
Well, like,
intellectually,
always, it's like, right. You never prepared, but you always tell yourself that you are. You never admit publicly, like, I don't know what's going on, fam. Like, you're going, yo, man, I got this, right? And I'm like, yo, okay, I'm 20. What am I, 20, 20, 21, 19, 20, 20, 20, 20, 21, something like that, right? And I'm like, okay, where do I live at? At the time, me and Buckshot was roommates. I was living in Crown Heights, Montgomery Street. Salute to my Montgomery family. And like you said earlier, like going to the club. I never been a going to the club type of dude.
Right.
But in the profession, you gotta make your rounds. But I, living on different neighborhoods, it's like these kind of like blind obligations to the neighborhood a little bit. So I found myself having an awful lot of friends, an awful lot of associates, and being, at the time I was hanging out with, it's crazy, because even when Genesis was born, I was hanging out with these Rastas, and initially I was hanging out with them to get weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't trying to learn nothing. I was just like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I ain't go there for the lessons and nothing. Right. I was just getting the weed. They had all the good weed. So, I mean, throughout that course, you spending time with these guys. I'm spending time with the family. I'm going to the weed man's house. His mom's is upstairs making, they don't eat no meat. They're all Ital food, everything, right? Everything is just, Ital as it can be on Utica Avenue. I mean, so this is where I first got put on the tofu, and I ain't know nothing about none of that stuff. Right. So I used to go to the crib. We used to bun our stick, and we have the old one. The youngest one probably might have been like 8, 9 years old, bunning our stick. Still, he'll pass me the Bible and go, "Can you read this?" Blah, blah, blah. And he'll roll up his spliff. I'm sitting here like I'm in Africa somewhere. I'm going, yo, my mind is blown, right? So, and my wisdom is pregnant. So the baby soon come. So I'm sitting there with these little Ras and our big Ras and the mama, and I'm getting schooled by them. I'm receiving all of this at the same time. I'm going home to my wisdom, and I'm playing nothing but classical music and Bob Marley and Ital music for my son. No hip hop is getting played, no Smif-N-Wessun, nothing is getting played, nothing is getting played around this young lady.
Not even your own music? Wow.
Not even my own music, nope. Not even my own music. He was brought up on classical music, lots of Bob Marley, lots of Garnet Silk, them type of things. And plus, I keep in mind, like, I was hanging out with the Ras. Right. So heavy. If I'm not with boot camp cats, I'm hanging out with the Ras. If I'm on the block, I'm with the Ras. So then the conversation starts to ensue. It's like, yo, you eat meat? Yeah, absolutely, I eat meat. Why you eat meat? I go good with the gravy and the rice. It go good with the sides, baby. Like, he's basically trying to convert me to just and I think, like, that was the beginning of my genesis, because I knew he was coming and I knew I had to prep for it. Because prior to that, I was living like a maniac. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, I might not make it. Like, I might not make it. So right now, get a little bit more serious. And if something come across where you can put your legacy into the world, and take advantage of that. So that's really how that came about. That was my prep game. It was like, if you meet somebody that's good, man, make it happen. It wasn't a forced issue. It was like, you doing these things and you got to accept the responsibility. It ain't like, oops,
right,
oops, there it is. But I'm like, you know what? This is when I guess, like, for me, it gave me a new window. And I don't mean to sound selfish, because the birth of my son is the rebirth of me, you know. And in that perspective, I had to um, do the best I could to prepare for him. Like, I knew nothing, bro. Like, no one was like, yo, you know what you gotta do. And I had mad homies that had kids. Like, so the prep game is like, some of these guys take it so organic. Like, oh, I'm about to have another one. Yo, what? Like, so what is that like? What is it? What is it? What is it like? You know, for me, it's like, yo, everything, like everything else, bro. Like the raps, the meticulousness of how I do things. It got like that. It was intensified with this young man. You know, first go round. He's the first. I got two now. So, but he woke me up to a whole nother different vantage point, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful scene.
Is that how you came to you said the word Genesis a lot. Is that how you came upon his name?
Well, I really can't recall the exact time, but I have to stress the fact that I'm a very meticulous individual. Like, when it comes to certain things, I could tell you, like, I had the books, name books. I probably had like 3-4 of those. What the meanings of the names, and but I was reading the Bible. I was heavy reading the Bible from front to back. I was reading the Quran a little bit. And I knew I wanted something. I'm like, yo, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is a big deal for the world. When this baby is born, it's a big deal for the world. So I do remember writing like a list of names. And I wish I had that list right now. Or that would be ill, right? That would be ill. Just having a list of names, like, yo, maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. But I knew I wanted him to have a cool nickname. And I knew I wanted it to be like, you can never clown him for his name. You know what I mean? It's like, when you say his name, it's gonna be like, oh, G.I. Like, nobody's gonna have that name, right?
Right.
So his mom's probably would tell you like she made it up, but you didn't. Nah, you heathen. No.
I remember when you told me Einity. You told me
Yes.
Genesis Einity. Because
Yes.
for those listening,
Your memory is
the
incredible,
first
bro.
MC that I spoke to interviewed ever to talk to me about having a kid. So this is why this is extra special for me.
Salute.
He said, I just had my son Genesis Einity. And I said, so you flipped unity to Einity. Why? Why that?
That was also the Rasta influence. Rastafari, they flip a lot of words and put I and I in the words, because it makes it more personable. And when you're dealing with the one, you're dealing with the all. When you deal with the I, so it's not too far fetched when you say, instead of saying unity, it's einity. You know, it feels like it should be like that. Anyways, einity, I and I come in one unity. You know, and plus it's cool. Like GI is like a soldier.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow, that's a layup right there. You can't be like, you're gonna be crazy. Like, that guy gotta be mad important. You know what I mean?
General Steele.
Wow.
1, 2, 3 ABC.
Word.
General Steele, the boot camp click, son's GI. How does he feel about his name?
Oh man, I think that he's pretty cool with it, man. He's pretty cool with it. But he got so many uncles, and because he was like Sean had kids already. Cookie had youths already. I think Tech didn't have no youths yet. I think these two brothers was the only two. They was like the first two. They kicked it off first two. And like so mine was the new addition, the initiation. Like we was going out. Like, these brothers are some beautiful, these boot camp brothers, they're some beautiful brothers, man. We was going out on a trip. I think we was like in LA or something. This is like when the first Sega Genesis came out. I think it's Sega Genesis. I don't know really nothing about game consoles, but I know that because these brothers had kids already, they gave me the console to give to the young guys. So can you imagine how big I was when I came in the crib, bringing my son like a brand new, this game just coming out, and I had a couple of games on there. Like, so I mean, I won't say he's spoiled, but he's been taken care of well. He got eyes on him. He got eyes on him, and I mean, not just his uncles, but his auntie, his mom's coddle him a lot, and she's tough. But he's a tough, smart kid, and I don't think he adopted probably a lot of stuff from me. I hope not too much. I'm a bit of a, I could be a tight one at times.
We want to have the best of us. I know.
He's down to earth, man. I think he's good with it. I think he's real good with it, man. He's laced.
And your second son is with Masai?
Yes, Masai, like the tribe.
Yes.
Not Messiah. People be saying, "Yo, Messiah, how's Messiah? Who's Messiah?" I don't know Messiah. Messiah.
When did he come along?
Messiah is Messiah was 2000. He's a 2000 baby.
Okay.
You can't never forget his age. He was born in 2000. You know what I mean?
Millennium baby.
The God month, 7/16.
Fellow Cancer.
Yes.
I'm 7/18.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
So you already know.
Yes.
You already know his vibe. He's no games. He's no games. So Tech used to say when we was running around town, he had this saying called the roots and the boots. Right. So when they was together, born, and once the younger one was born, Messiah was born, then I adopted that saying for them, because G.I. was born when I was under heavy Rastafarian influence. So he's the roots, and he's the first. And of course, Messiah is the boots. He's the soldier. Messiah was born under very different circumstances.
How so?
Well, his mother and I wasn't in the place. We wasn't in the place at all. And sad to say, he almost was in jeopardy because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like when two people are not together and they got to make a decision, and it's like you don't ever want to abort a baby or take a life. Like when I see Kanye talk about that and he cried about that, I cried too. Like people clowning him and shit like that. I'm like, yo, you can't act like that's an easy decision, man.
No,
you can't say, well, let's this person decide. Nobody wants to push that red button, But honestly, like I have to admit, I probably would have never admit this if I wouldn't build with you. You my brother, so I can say this and I can put it out there in the world and go, yo, I was in a place where I was contemplating, not having this child, with this young lady, and the only thing that we was right there, bro. We was right there, and I'm looking at her, and she's so tough, and I'm so stubborn, and we're just using the stubborn and the toughness instead of using the love. It didn't connect until I'm looking at her, and I'm like, yo, we're not gonna do that. Her friend was there too. And her friend was like, it was like a game show. She was like, what are they gonna decide?
Oh no.
Right. And I'm like, yo, man. So, she ain't want to make no decision. I'm not gonna be like, yo, fuck it. Then I'm like, nah, we're gonna rock with the God. He's coming home with us. He's gonna have this baby, and we're gonna see what it do. If it, the baby ain't gonna break us apart, it's gonna be us that's gonna decide how we're gonna get it popping. That's why he's the soldier. We had to decide if we was gonna allow this child to be here. Can you imagine the power of two messed up individuals that we're gonna later be called mom and dad? it's crazy. So it's like that's the one I feel like I, really even more so deeper in my heart because I owe him something.
Mm.
I mean, I don't even like to tell that story to your child. Like it's difficult. I'm not even sure if I even expressed that to him. I might have because I've said some crazy stuff to my kids, but like I don't like to lie to them, man. I don't like to fabricate nothing. I don't like they gonna be real. Like they're gonna be real dudes, real men, you know.
Well, I hope that our kids have empathy for us because I've discovered empathy for my father. He passed in 2018, but I've started to put myself in his position. I was just talking about this the other day um, with another guest that I my father. I think about what my father was doing when he was my age, and I try to put myself in his shoes. Like, what was my father doing when he was 46?
Right, right.
So I would hope when your son hears this or sees this, he's like, you know what? When how old were you? What, 20? You said 24, 25?
Not even, not yet. Somewhere around there.
He's around that age
Oh,
now.
well, my second son was born. Yeah, I was,
Yeah.
I was around that age.
So he's not far from that age now,
Right.
So he can imagine what it would be like if he was in that position and having to make that choice. I mean, obviously he's happy you made the other choice, but
man, me too, man. Me too. That's a beautiful guy, man. That's a
yeah.
beautiful spirit right there, and he's very special.
Mm-hmm.
Also brought light to the party, brought light and life to the party.
So do you think? So how did you guys work it out? Did you stayed together, or you just decided to co-parent? Like what was the?
We stayed together for a little while, but it was man, with the Titanic, it was already happening. It was already going down. I mean, it was it became real brittle. I had to basically make a move.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, from there we co-parent. It was rocky though. It wasn't easy at all. I mean, the relationship between the two bosses was was gone. It was gone. There was no respect there. It was very, so that can in turn have a wild effect on the youngsters.
How did you deal with that? How did you assure your sons that you were still there for them regardless of what was happening with, you know?
I just told them the truth, man. I told them stuff that probably was their ears was too mature to hear. I got in trouble for a lot of stuff, a lot of raising them the way I was raised. You're not supposed to say that. Why not? What you talking about? I just look like this bad guy that jetted or something, right? That's what I look like. That's supposed to be the story. Nah, ain't the story. Like, yo, sometimes you gotta hear the story. You don't want to wait till you this age and go, yo, what happened was, like when I had Genesis, I went to go see my pops too, and I started a Sunday ritual with my dad because I didn't have a great relationship with my father. My father was abusive to my mother and myself, but he was struggling from alcoholism, and at the time, me as a 16-year-old at 16, 15, 16, I wanted to kill my father. Like I'm in the streets, I'm going, yo, I'm gonna fucking kill my dad. Like I'm not with this, So yeah, I have to kind of like take it back a little bit and go, all right, what are you thinking? Will the teenager truly tell his father what he's thinking for real, for real? How do you communicate with them if they see you as this figure that's on the other side of the fence? So for me, it's funny because their mother would be like, all right, you're the cool parent, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'll take that gig. I'll be the cool parent because I'm the parent that 9 times out of 10 when you come around me, I'm with a bunch of dudes in my crib. We recording, we listening to music, we talking about hip hop, we talking about the game. Maybe I got a show, maybe I'm shooting a video shoot. Are you at my shoot? So you're always seeing this lifestyle. And that's one thing that for me, I feel like I wish I could have did that a little bit different. I wish I could have asserted myself more with them aside from this rap stuff. But I shared with them my lifestyle so they would not feel like it was some fabricated thing. Like, this is a real thing. I want you to know how hard it is. I want you to know how rewarding it is, how real it is. So you see it on TV and your friends start going, you're like, all right, your mind is not blown, and you can identify with the harsh realities and the wonderful blessings, the benefits of that. Because right now, like, these guys, like, I could press a button and these guys would be good in any state, right? Like, what you want to do? You want to go to college? I got, throughout my travels, I've accumulated some interesting relationships. Just make a phone call, like, yo, my son wants to attend this, blah, blah, blah. You might know somebody there. So they have in some respects, they've kind of like been born into this majestic this organization, this family. And I just try to cope with it by showing them who these people are. And a lot of times I'll look across the room and I'll be doing something over here, and one of my friends, one of my bros, or Tech might be talking to Gial, or Cookie Head might be talking to Boots, or Rock might be talking to Boots, or something like that. They talk to them like humans and not like smaller people.
Right. Just take me back a little bit. You touched upon your relationship with your father, which I wanted to dig into just a little bit. You mentioned the alcoholism and the abuse. Was that prevalent, or was that something that was later on? Or what are some of your earlier memories of your father?
It's crazy, man, because a lot of my memories of my dad is dark, and then I look through the photo albums, and then I had the flashbacks of, oh, this guy was there every Christmas. He was even helping us assemble our toys. He was even playing with us at some of the time.
Right.
Okay, we went to he took us to Prospect Park. He loved Prospect Park. Wow, I remember that.
Mine too. Yep.
It's difficult to see it when you're smothered by so much ugliness. So I'm like you said, like I pray for that day when my children go, all right, my dad probably couldn't do this because of certain factors, but those other things can help us without letting the bottom drop out. Like, our perfection is a point of reference or point of vantage. So for me, like, my dad, that's why I say I went back to see him, because I knew that, like, when I was like 19 and I was in the hood, I would go to the Ceflo projects and hang out with everybody. My dad lived on the 14th floor where we grew up at. I wouldn't go see him. Right. And, one day I saw him in the street. He said, yo, I heard you was around here, Duke. I'm like, he called me Duke. Like, in the hood, you can't, you know what I mean? Like, certain words, fight words. He's like, you called me Duke. Like, so he was pissed off, but he wasn't. And it made me feel, I was embarrassed, because I come to the P's and I'm in this building, that building, this building, that building, and I don't go check my dad. Like, why? And then they go back to the ugliness. Like, what am I go when I go check him? What we gonna talk about? You know what I'm saying? I used to whoop my ass. Like, I used to beat my moms. I used to get drunk and just wild the fuck out in the crib. Like, what we gonna talk about? So I couldn't remember none of that stuff. So I didn't feel like I missed anything until he made that statement. And then, when GR was born, I was like, I gotta introduce my father to me now. You know what I mean? So wow. I brought my wisdom at the time, brought my kid's mom, and brought my son, and he fell in love with Genesis, man. And I swear to you, yo, I'm about to see a grown man cry on this show, man. Because I promise you, bro, when I seen my dad pick my son up, bro, I lost it, bro. Because I don't remember that. You feel me? I don't remember that tenderness. You feel me? I know it was there, but I just don't remember it. So when he grabbed my son, I was like, wow. That was it for me, man. I was like, yo, man, I gotta get to know this guy. Because all this time he just been my dad. You know, people call him Smiley. You know, it had to be a reason. He can't just be this animal, this beast. So that I think, so it's like I started going every Sunday to go see my dad. Every Sunday, right? Prior to that, I was moving around. I was kind of in squalor. I wasn't really stable. So having a home, like, there was a lot of other factors. But once the young God came through, I was like, you know, get this together. Let's start getting the family thing. And I asked my dad a question. I said, yo, my household is not really, you know, it ain't really stable. Like, you know, I mean, this was like weeks in, right? And he was like, yo, you good, Duke? You good? I was like, yeah, you go with this Duke mess. Hey, you good, Duke? And he like, you got your wife, you got the house, you got your kids, you good. I was like, yo, man, that's all you got? And he just walked out the room and went in the back, right? So that stuck with me, man. It's like, imagine, you know, being a father and you just don't know what to do, man. You can't tell your son that.
Right.
Your daddy. So, dad, I need the whoop-de-wow. I need this to happen. I need this to go there. And you dad, so you probably got to know the answer to everything. And you're going to walk the dogs like you do. Right. So for me, bringing that back 360 degrees home and seeing my dad in that tenderness, it kind of like, it dropped the veil that I didn't even realize that I had, bro. You know? And it allowed me to go, okay, let me talk to him. And I started bringing, when Messiah was born 3 years later, I started bringing Messiah. And I mean, he fell in love. Like G.I. was not with the pick me up. He wasn't with the kiss me on the face. G.I. wanted to go around the crib and see what's going on in here. So my pops would pick him up and he like, all right, 1, 2, all right, I'm up. And then Messiah is the exact opposite. Messiah was like sucking his thumb. Messiah was like the cutest thing, right? Because he'll suck his thumb and put his hands down his pants. So all the grown folks, instead of going, don't do that, they be like, look at this, look at this. that just made them bug out, right? So he would get everybody want to pick this guy up. My dad picked him up and he was cool with it. So my pop's like, yo, I like this guy. It just blew my mind to see my father like that. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
Word. It was amazing, man. That's one of the most beautiful. Like, I can remember that, like it happened yesterday. But my childhood, like, people say, well, I remember when I was 8. I don't remember when I was 8. I don't. I remember some embarrassing moments when my friends came to get me from school and stuff like that. My pops was just super wasted in the morning. Who you had to say? To a little kid, who you had to say?
Wow.
It's like, yo, the other kid in the house, come on, Dad. I gotta go to school, yo. Like, word. But I miss that guy, man. Where is my?
When did he transition?
Oh man, it's been a few years now, man. It's been a few years. I lose count at the moment.
That's fine.
He's at least he got to see his grandkids.
Yes.
And he got to see me do something. I told him, I said, when I first signed, I said, dude, I'm gonna make $1 million a month. So he would, I think I said, I don't know if I said a month or a week. Some craziness, right? Like, he's like, yo, Duke, you made your $1 million. I'm like, yo, I like this guy, man. How could I not rock with him? I remember the first time, I think this was before my kids was born, right? I think I might have turned, I'm not sure if I was 18, 19, one of those. I think I was 18, 19, one of those, right? And I was like, let me go see my pops. and I brought 2 beers and Heineken and a Guinness stout.
Mm.
And my pops was already tipsy when I went to the crib. He was already tipsy. So he know me. Like I'm such a nerd, man. And I came. He said, "What you doing here, dude?" Like I said, "Yo, I came to chill with you, watch the game." He's like, "Watch the game? You watch sports?" I'm like, "Nah, not really, but I just came to kick it with you." Like he was like, "Nah, he didn't believe it." You know what I'm saying? Because I never. He know me for not like I wasn't one of those kids who was I played all of the sports, but I wasn't basketball kid, a football kid. Don't take me to didn't need all that stuff. But I was trying to, you know, get past that ugliness, you know, I guess for my own selfish reasons. And then when my children was born, like to have a clear view and not to have that taint our relationship or take their pureness, you know.
For sure. You posted a picture not too long ago of you on stage with your sons.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
where
Yes.
was that? When was that? And what is it like having 2 grown men now?
Dude, that I just got goosebumps. Word. Like, um, well, GI is part of a group called the Space Syndicate.
Hmm.
I forget his partner's name because I'm still geeked that my son is like part of a group. Like he started making beats.
Nice.
So I was like, cool, you know, he's gonna be a quiet, get money. Cause I told him, I was like, I don't never want you cast a rap. Don't do it. Word up. Don't break my heart. Don't break your father's old crusty heart. Don't rap.
Wow.
Um,
Why didn't you want them to rap? Not to cut off your story, but I'm just curious.
I mean, it's some ugly stuff going on here, man. And unless you're like, unless you a star child or you ready to really get busy and work your angles, don't sign up for it, man. Like people be trying it out. Don't try this out, man. Once you step your feet in there, you get to the hip weight, you gotta walk through this pond, man. You gotta walk through it. You gotta get to the other side. And then when you get to the other side, that's when the party starts. You know, that's when the madness begins, as Helter Skelter say. You think it's gonna be like, oh, party? No, it's party. It's this, it's this. It's that kind of party. It's going pop. You ain't tell me it was like this, right? I told you don't rap. I tell that to my friends. Like when I see my friends who like they're in their late 30s, early 40s, they're like, yo, I'm trying to put out a record. Why? Unless you have to, unless you feel this urge to be poetic and you want to share it, by all blessings. But don't come here thinking it's going to be a game changer and you're going to be disappointed because nobody cares. Like I'm in rhyming for 25 years plus, and I'm getting my ass royally bust. Like to make these relationships and to like, you know what time it is. Like you've seen so many different changes. We've been here over 2 decades. Prior to that, we saw our older brothers getting their humps bust.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've seen like and even though the game changed and it's we've been able to see people kind of like enjoy the fruits of their labor, and it's become another different kind of crazy monster. So it's like I can't protect you from that. Once you're in there, you know, and when I look at all of these other guys who kids go into music, I don't see them no more. Like, where are they? You name 10 people with the exception of Percy Miller. You can't name Percy Miller. Percy Miller. salute, Master P.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying? Salute, Master
got
P.
something there because you know Willow Smith. She did it like once and then was like, "Nah, I'm not doing this no more."
Young God is over there somewhere. Like, where they at?
Yeah.
Like even my man Uptown, baby,
Oh
Uptown.
yeah, Peter Guns, Corey Guns. Yes.
Corey Guns get super duper busy, right? And like
Pun's son is the only one I know.
Okay, well, okay, right. You're right. Pun's son.
Yeah.
I think just recently I heard. Oh, man, honorable mention, Young Dirty Bastard.
Yep.
Right. Ugar's son. I forgot what his name is. I think that Ugar's son and Pun's son is actually working on a project together.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's like
there's not a lot.
It's not a lot. It's gonna be tough for them, man. It's gonna be tough for them because the game is like like we don't care if that's your pops no more. We barely even know these cats. Like the 25-year-old cats don't know your pops. So you call yourself young something, and I don't even what. You just you.
You're all young and little now.
Right. Right. So it's like it's difficult. Like I'm grateful that to see my son. Like my son is crazy. Like he went to college, you know, he experienced this different vantage point, and he's always been a inquisitive kid, and he started going into the world, dabbling in stuff that I'd never been a part of. So when I watch him make his dusty tracks, I'm like, yo, cool. If you need help, let me know. I'm right here. You know, your pops got I got a little juice, you know. You're like, all right, pops. He don't want a business with that. He don't want to like just be put out by his father. And I'm like,
right.
Give thanks. If you're gonna do it, be willing to do it. Be willing to take your bruises. How the God say, love hella right. You got to walk through your own fire. You know what I mean? You got to take that Jesus walk. You know what I mean? 40 days, 40 nights. Don't no nepotism, no expectancies. Like this is what made the boot camp soldiers.
So he's producing for his crew now.
He's producing, and I think he started rhyming. That's the part that had me like, you don't listen to nothing I say. But it sounds kind of good though. I kind of like it. It's kind of because he's a pothead. You know what I'm saying? He's like I could tell. I'm like, you dusted, bro. You think I don't know?
Oh, wow.
You like this on the beat, ain't you? I know your whole flow is like this, right? You and your homies, like, word, yeah. But I love the intelligence. You know, you're not just like, yo, we smoke Buddha in the corner in the alleyway, word, fuck it. Like, he's putting together some interesting thing, and it's a vibe. So it's kind of reminding me of the 90s when you listen to almost everything just to see what was going on with it. So I'm like, all right, it's interesting. And I'm curious to see how your peers respond to it. I don't want you to just be like this pothead kid and just in the crib, yo, let's make a song, son. Word. Like it has to add up to something, you know. So I see him working towards that.
This is GI or Masai?
GI.
Okay.
Masai. And what I do love about the two, they're super close. They kick it. So when Masai's making beats, when GI's making beats with his crew or whatever, Masai is like this. He a Cancer, so he's super quiet and super observant. He's watching everything and nothing at the same time, right? So he started picking up the fashion aspect. Okay. He has a brand that he's building up called Wavy. I said, yo, if you need some help, your pops got some juice. I know some people. All right, pops. You need me to get you some, what you need? I can plug you in with all right, back up. This is your world. You see it. All I did is give him a little tools, gave him a couple of phone numbers. Make sure you call these cats. These guys, some serious guys in the business, they can steer you in the right direction, give you some, some pointers on some stuff. And I'm seeing them utilize their craft and they're pushing. And of course, like between school and working, they both now royally getting their humps bust right now, man. They taking their medicine though, for sure. And they ain't crying about it. I just saw them the other day, man. Because of this pandemic, I haven't been seeing them as often as I would like to.
Right.
And working, my sons is men. They hitting that street. They ain't sleeping in the crib till 12, 2 o'clock like some of these bum bill cats. I'm proud of them, man. I'm grateful that like, however it turns out, I know it's a lot of work, and I know that they're aware of the realness of it, So that's a blessing.
Word, man. Well, still, yo, thank you so much, brother.
J. Barrow.
This has been an amazing, worthwhile conversation.
Every time we kick it, you wind up you managed to come up with some interesting content, bro. A fact. We never had a dull one ever, bro. That's a fact.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yo, but you want to hear something funny? You want to hear something funny?
What's
right
that?
Before we got on, I was in my crib cleaning up, like, yo, I'm like, damn, why am I nervous? I know Jerry. Like, what? Why am I nervous? I speak to him, and wow, I was sweating. I'm like, what the hell? Changed like 2-3 shirts. I was standing like, what am I gonna wear? Bro, like I gotta come right for my bro. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you so much.
Man, likewise, man. Likewise.
I remember, we were where were we? We were the BB Kings or SOBs, and someone had introduced us, and you said, Jerry practically raised me. I was like, I was humbled. I was like, damn, we have known each other for quite a long time.
We watched the moon and the sunrise, bro. It's sped up time. You know what I mean? Builders crumble, builders get erected.
Literally and figuratively.
Literally and figuratively, man. So it's great to know that the industry didn't destroy us. It didn't destroy the relationship, and it didn't destroy our individuality and our thirst and love for it. It's always good to see brothers and sisters out there that's still getting it cracking. By the way, salute April Walker for this shirt.
Word. Shout out April Walker.
Walker in the building.
That's the OG right there.
Official things that, man. Jay Barrow, man. I love you, brother. Thank you, man.
Still. Thank you.
Anything you need from me, I'm on deck.
Will do. I'm definitely gonna hit you up, man. Can't wait, and I can't wait to hear the project.
February 5th.
All right.
AK3. Salud, bro.
If you're enjoying Fathers Who Bother, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow us on Instagram at Fathers Who Bother and Twitter at Fathers Who Be. Thanks.